The narrative is, I'll implement this when the technology is clearer and more stable. The reality is, when it's clear, it's over. AI capability is now doubling every 4 months. The gap you're ignoring doesn't close, it compounds. Yesterday, one step would have fixed it. Tomorrow, the fast movers exist in a world you can't even see anymore.
So I'm sure eventually we're going to get to this, but time being of the essence is what people aren't understanding, right? What I feel is like most people they're in the what I will personally call the big wait, and not WIGHT, but the big WAIT. Let me see. I know it's coming. I know it's there, but I'm going to wait till it gets. Oh, here's one. I'm going to wait till it gets a little better, and then I'll start to use it. Right?
Right.
Something you heard?
Well, yeah, something I heard, and I don't believe what most people are realizing is the exponential speed of everything that's happening. We're all just going along at our old linear speed, human fashion, and what's happening out there today is operating at exponential speed. It's pretty crazy, and that's a big differentiator for what's really happening out there in the real world.
Things are coming faster and faster, and it just seems like nobody's paying attention to it, right?
That is for sure. That is for sure.
And what? Go ahead. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you do this? Let's give some receipts to try to make that to nail that awareness down, right? So give me the receipts.
Today I'm going to give you my receipts. I'm going to give you something a little different. I'm going to give you a little excerpt out of my upcoming book, The Second Half Manifesto, How to Stay Dangerous When AI and Society Want You Obsolete.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Right? Lay it on you. This is the escalator from chapter 6. You stand beside your son at the bottom of an escalator. Race you to the top. He jumps on. You take the stairs. The first moments are easy. You match his pace. Then it changes. The escalator accelerates. He stands still, yet pulls away. You double your pace. It's not enough. You sprint, legs burning. He's gone. Yesterday, one step would have closed it. Today, the gap widens every second. Tomorrow, the fast movers exist in a world you can't even see.
This isn't really even a metaphor, man. This is like mathematics. It's happening exponentially. It's happening. We're not going to go backwards. We're not going to stop. Like you said, your escalator just continues to climb, right? Yeah.
The escalator continues to climb. The problem is the escalator doesn't continue to climb at the same speed. It's accelerating, every chance it gets. You already talked about if you use AI as the escalator and AI now doubles its speed every 4 months, there's no way, unless you're on that escalator, that you're going to be able to keep up with it.
Yeah. All right, give me more.
Here's another thing that we've been talking about and haven't really looked at it. So, as a second half man, your experience made you a bigger target. So we talked about how tasks are being unbundled from every area of your life, really, but especially in your job, those tasks are being unbundled. But you have a wealth of experience. A 25-year-old, he maybe has 15, 16, 17 tasks in his stack that he has to do to complete that job. You have over 40.
Right.
So your decades of expertise gave AI more surface area for the unbundling. So more of your tasks are going to be done. Those entry level jobs they're collapsing because AI can handle all that stuff, right? Big tech hired 25% fewer new grads this past year than it did the year before. And the projections are to be even larger than that next year. Our senior role, the scope expands while the head count contracts. More work for you because you know more. Well, most of us do.
Yeah. So the stack you talked about, where they may have those 5 tasks and I have 35, it's taking 5 from them, taking 5 from me, and then taking another 5 from me. But as you said, my experience and my time allows me to maintain my position, right?
That's correct. And the other thing is you don't have 5 years to figure this out. You got maybe 18 months. You gotta jump on this.
Yeah. That's a tough pill to swallow, I guess, if you're a grad out of college coming out of school.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even with my own, uh, I have a son he's doing stuff differently than he even studied. He graduated with a college degree, and he's not even working in that field anymore. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
so yeah,
my last receipt, it really has to do with that, with college degrees and credentials and things that you gotta do. So we talked earlier on about the World Economic Forum saying that, don't worry about AI. There's going to be a whole lot of job loss, but there's a whole lot more jobs coming to replace those job losses. That's what they were talking about early on. But they didn't highlight the part in the report that said 77% of those new jobs require master's degree level credentialing, and 18% required doctoral degrees. So us second half men, we're not going back to school to try and out credential the young folks. There's not a whole lot of place to go there. So
yeah. But I already got a doctorate, man, in business. All right,
yeah, you do.
40 years worth of experience. So
I hear you.
so
So
almost there. Yeah,
you
yeah.
just got to remember that the path forward isn't through credentials; it's through command. And you don't need to become an AI engineer. You need to become the person who commands AI, and that's what your 25 years of judgment and accountability and trust are for. And deployed at machine speed, you become the sovereign in the system.
All right, so that leads us. What is the sovereign play? If I'm after sovereignty, what's my sovereign play in this situation?
So, in my upcoming book, the second half Manifesto, How to Stay Dangerous When AI and Society Want You Obsolete, we deal with this in a couple of different ways. We have the 22 elements of the Sovereign's Code, and a couple of them that apply directly to what we're talking about today are element number 4, full out. So full out is,
I like it.
no half measures, no lukewarm commitments, and you don't kind of become a sovereign in the system. You either are or you aren't. That means all in or don't bother. And the men who dabble get the worst of both worlds. So go all in, go full out, and become sovereign in the system. And element 11 is entitled push. So decision without action is theater and means nothing. So knowing without doing is self-deception, and push means that you map your task stack this week and know where it is that you have to work, right? It means you identify your workflow. It means you identify what it is that can and will be automated and know where you belong on those tasks in your job. You may not protect your job as you know it, but they can't do your job without you at that point.
So we have to adapt at an accelerated pace, right? Right. And then which we've talked about before, we got to assess and determine what it is you can actually do in your stack, and what responsibilities and activities you can maintain in your own stack, right? That's the push. Is that the push?
Yeah. So, the push means that yes, you are identifying first the AI workflow, and that you become everything else. You can't be what you won't do, and you need to make sure that you are that. What is really important, that whole stack or the lesser stack that can't be done by the machines, by AI.
Okay, so that's the push. So give us that last thought. What's that last thought, Russ, for a sovereign man?
Look, the escalator is accelerating. Every day you stand still, it pulls further away. And the men who moved 6 months ago are already in a world you'll struggle to see, but the men who move today can still close the gap. The men who wait until it's comfortable, They'll watch their sons disappear over the horizon while they gasp on the stairs. This isn't adaptation, it's sovereignty, and it's the only path forward.
So again, this is the Second Half Man Show. We hope you like what you heard. If you do, hit that like button. We still need more subscribers. We need people to join the brotherhood. Leave us a comment. Tell us whether you like what we're doing. Tell us whether you don't like what we're doing, what we could do better. So until next time, I'm 601.
I'm Russ Borden. Stay dangerous.